call the hearing to order if the clerk could announce the hearing.
You call the roll first.
Yeah, call the roll.
Yeah. Trustee Healy.
Here.
Trustee Katsinas.
Here.
Trustee Malani.
Here.
Trustee Compass. Trustee Reardon.
Here.
Trustee Rashevsky. Mayor Pika.
Here.
Hearing appeal to the village board regarding revocation of business license issued to BWB Corporation doing business as Cannabis, Village of Orland Park business license BL-21-27030, issued against Cannabis 9557 West 144th Place, Orland Park, Illinois.
Okay, so this is a hearing for cannabis, as we just heard, and the rules of this hearing are 15 minutes of comments from the defendant, then 15 minutes from the prosecution, then 5 minutes rebuttal from the defendant. So if there's anyone to speak for the defendant. Okay.
Before we start, I'd like to ask, I was made aware of this hearing 7 days ago. I do have a lawyer, unfortunately he's in Springfield for the next 6 business days. Also, there's 2 important pieces here that goes against Mr. Ziegler's testimony that I'm waiting for body cam footage. Now, on average, I've asked for probably 30 FOIA requests in my lifetime. Body cam footage, never in my life, but usually within 5 days you get a response per law. I put that in, I believe, almost 8 weeks ago. I've still yet to get a response. You know, I've spent good money on a lawyer to be here, and unfortunately, with the timing, he's not allowed to be here. And B, there's 2 important pieces of FOIA requests that the village should turn over to me that I haven't even got a response to. Based on that, I'm not even prepared to give this today.
So
For the board's information, I can comment that the village manager's office and/or the village attorneys have heard from any attorney claiming to represent Mr. Parakis or Cannabis and have not received an appearance from any attorney in this matter. So we have no information properly before us regarding a requested continuance on the basis of attorney unavailability. In addition, with regard to the FOIA requests that were filed, although I believe that Mr. Parakis has been labeled a recurrent requester, which extends the village's response time under the Illinois Freedom of Information Act. The village's position with regards to that would be that those matters are irrelevant to the matter before you, as it is an appeal focused on the manifest weight of the evidence of the hearing officer's order.
May I respond to that?
you may.
So if you look in the deposition order by Mr. Karswara, I apologize if I butcher that. One of the key reasons that I'm being shut down was based on testimony by Mr. Ziegler, that when he entered my business, I did not allow him access to walk around. I didn't grant him access to my store. That's a complete fabrication. What I had asked were that the officers that were stepping through the threshold of my back door, which is private property, by the way, and I asked them to remove themselves, did not. In no way, shape, or form did I allow Mr. Ziegler to not go anywhere that he wanted to go, nor was it even asked. You know, because I have representation, it doesn't have to make this committee aware of that. This is an appeal to a hearing. I do have representation. If you'd like a card to see that I have a lawyer that I've already paid for, I have no problem giving you that. But I would like to be extended the proper amount of time to stand in front of you and give my case, you know, 100%. Not with, you guys gave me 2 months from the date that this appeal started, right? I'd asked for time, you had scheduled a date. No one had said that the hearing board here can make this date at any time. I had actually sent an email to Ms. Norton, and within a 12-hour span that same day, she responded, which was a week from today, with this date. So it came out of nowhere. It was her responding to an email that I had went out and reached out to her about in the same day. I mean, I'm not prepared, if this council wants to make a hearing and decide what is what today, then that's fine. I'll take my access outside to the courts and we'll go through there. But I believe I was shut down, and I was shut down completely improperly. And I'd like a chance to defend myself properly. I don't have all the ammo at my disposal to sit up here and give you all the information. It's been 2 months, and I haven't got even a response about the body cam footage. Whether I gave 11 FOIA requests or not, 8 weeks, I can't get a response saying, hey, we're working on that. That's not right. That's actually in violation of state law. Even if you're considering me a recurring with more than 10, you have 4 weeks, then it becomes a month, not 60 days. That's all.
That concludes your comments?
Yes.
Okay. I'll turn it over to the prosecution, and then you will have 5 minutes to rebut what she says.
Thank you.
So we're moving forward then? We're not going to give me another date?
So we are moving forward because, again, this hearing is about the manifest weight of the evidence, and as our attorney said, neither our village manager nor our attorney has had anything requesting a continuance or anything
Sure, I
indicating.
sent an email to Ms. Norton. I can pull that up for you if you'd like to see. I asked for a continuance. It's documented. It was documented 7 days ago when she gave me the date first and foremost. So I'd like me to get that for you.
So the continuance request, I don't know if she
It was
received one.
denied by her.
A continuance request doesn't come to the prosecution, it would come to the hearing officer, which was Mr. Kazwara, or to the village, and we didn't receive anything. So if on those grounds, we'll move forward today.
Laura was attached to the email I sent.
So,
From an attorney, I just want to clarify that he's saying he has an attorney who's unavailable, and we have not been contacted by any attorney, nor have we been contacted with regards to filing an appearance in this case. So there's no evidence that Mr. Prokis is represented by an attorney in this matter.
Does he have to file an appearance to be here today? No. Why would he have to file an appearance to be here today?
Mr. Mayor, the hearing was on March 23rd, correct?
correct.
And the petitioner was given notice of that hearing, I'm guessing, correct?
No, a week ago I was given it, sir.
Not today, I'm talking to the mayor. That the petitioner was given notice of the hearing that took place on March 23rd.
Yes.
He got notice to be there. He had an opportunity to hire an attorney and bring him to that hearing, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I didn't want an attorney for that. I wanted it for the appeal. Isn't that my right to have an attorney when I see fit and when I want to?
It's not our job to explain the law to you, but this is an appeal, which is only based on I don't know if you understand what we keep saying. The manifest weight of the evidence means, did the village manager decide something based on the hearing that he had, and is the ruling that he made against the manifest weight? Does all the evidence show that he made some huge error? That's our job, to decide. Did the manager make an error? That's all we're doing today, so.
Our job is not to retry the case,
Yes.
is solely to look at, did he make a sound decision, a reasonable decision based on what was presented to him that day? That's our job to do today. And there has not been any appearance filed for today for an attorney, so we will move forward. At this point, have you concluded?
I'm not asking to retry the case, Mayor. I'm just asking to have.
I'm just
to have
asking you,
the-
I'm
I
just
am not
asking you,
prepared to
if
move forward,
you
no.
said you had concluded your comments. I'm asking you if you have concluded your comments.
I have.
Okay, then I'm going to turn it over to the prosecution.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, members of the gentlemen of the board, on March 14th, the village manager presided over a hearing regarding the business license of DWP CBD Corp. doing business as Cannabis located at 9557 West 144th Place. The notice of hearing alleged 10 violations of village code. The bases of those 10 counts were alleged instances of illegal behavior which was detrimental to public safety, health, and welfare, and that they were operating without a valid 2022 or 2023 business license. The hearing officer found that Cannabis was in violation of 9 out of the 10 counts as alleged in the notice of hearing and ordered a revocation of the business license. At the hearing, Code Enforcement Supervisor Jason Ziegler testified that village records showed that Cannabis's business license expired on December 31st, 2021, and that the business had failed to renew for 2022 or 2023. On the date of the hearing, the license was approximately 427 days past due. On March 6, 2023, Mr. Ziegler went to Cannabis and stickered the business shut. Orland Park Police Officer Dan Livingston testified that Cannabis is a business that sells CBD products and is not a licensed dispensary. CBD is a non-intoxicating derivative of cannabis. Officer Livingston began an investigation into Cannabis after receiving information that the business was selling cannabis. His investigation began with the Cannabis website, which advertised products containing elevated levels of THC. Delta-9 THC is the intoxicating component extracted from cannabis and is regulated by the state of Illinois. The products advertised by Cannabis listed THC levels of 20 to 30%. Officer Livingston was able to add these THC products to his cart, and at checkout was offered in-store pickup at the Orland Park address. Officer Livingston also discovered a Google review of the Cannabis store where the owner posted a reply stating that the business had Delta 9 products available for purchase. Officer Livingston and his team from the Targeted Response Unit of the Orland Park Police Department formulated an undercover operation where an officer would enter Cannabis and make a THC product purchase. He testified a purchase was made by Officer Dave Hansen on February 8, 2023. On that day, Officer Livingston examined the contents of a white jar that Officer Hansen purchased at Cannabis. When he opened the jar, it contained a green leafy substance that, based on his prior police experience, had a strong odor of fresh cannabis. In his opinion, the product was Delta 9 THC cannabis. Orland Park Police Officer Dave Hansen testified that he is a member of the Targeted Response Unit. And on February 8, 2023, he participated in an undercover operation at Cannabis. He was given $200 in official advance funds and entered Cannabis in an undercover capacity. He spoke to an employee at the business regarding the different strains of flower products offered for sale in the store. Officer Hansen told the employee that he had tried CBD products before, but those had no effect on him. The employee suggested an item called Gorilla Glue, which was a green leafy flower product The employee suggested an item called Gorilla Glue, which was a green leafy flower product that needed to be smoked and had a THC level of 23.5%. The Gorilla Glue product was described on the packaging as a potent hybrid marijuana with a heavy-handed euphoric and relaxation effect. Officer Hansen purchased 3.5 grams for $59.99. He was not given a receipt, nor was he asked to produce identification of age. He did not pay an increased tax rate for the item. The product was sold in a white jar with no Illinois tax stamp, and there was no labeling which would trace the product to a particular grower or a specific harvest. The contents of the jar were sent to the Illinois State Police Crime Lab for testing. The lab report returned by the ISP lab stated that the item tested positive for Delta 9 THC cannabis. Orland Park Village Code prohibits the sale of cannabis products within the village. At the hearing, the owner of Cannabis, Benjamin Parakis, was present. He refused to testify, and when he was administered an oath, he refused to respond. He did subsequently make a statement, but it was not under oath. His statement was that at harvest, his products contain an acid called THCA and were therefore legal under the federal Farm Bill. He stated that over time, his products undergo a decarboxylation process, which is a chemical synthesis which produces active THC after the item is harvested. Cannabis holds a village retail sales business license. It is not a state-regulated cannabis dispensary, and cannabis sales are prohibited in Orland Park. At the hearing, Mr. Parakis offered no evidence, no witnesses, and no documentation whatsoever to support his claim that the product sold to Officer Hansen was anything other than what the ISP Crime Lab says it is, prohibited cannabis. After the hearing, Mr. Parakis emailed the hearing officer some documents that purported to show chemical testing of a harvested item. But the documents that he sent established no link, no nexus whatsoever to the item sold to Officer Hansen and tested by ISP. There is no paper trail at all, no connection whatsoever. The documents were not addressed to Mr. Parakis or Cannabis and did not reference the business at all. The items sent to the hearing officer are cell phone screenshots of documents found on a publicly accessible retail website. The jar purchased by Orland Park Police had no markings or labeling or any notations that would link the contents to the documents offered by Mr. Parakis after the hearing concluded. Additionally, even for the sake of argument, we were to believe that the container held THCA flower, as argued by Mr. Prakash, the labeling failed to comply with applicable state law for THCA products, and the product was not taxed at a rate consistent with the Delta 9 THC level. The only competent evidence presented at the hearing and for the hearing officer to consider was that the item sold to Officer Hansen was Delta 9 THC cannabis. This test result is also consistent with what the business was advertising to the public on its website, that it sells THC products. These facts, coupled with the significant delinquency in the payment of the 2022 and 2023 business license renewal, demonstrate that Cannabis and Mr. Prakash are not good business partners with the village. Good businesses make good neighbors, and that benefits not only the village, but other area businesses, and adds to the quality of life of the citizens, residents, and guests of Orland Park. The issue before this board to decide today is whether the hearing officer's decision to revoke the business license of Cannabis and not allowing a 2023 renewal was against the manifest weight of the evidence. You should not overturn the hearing officer's order unless you find that his decision was obviously erroneous or unsupported by the evidence presented. The order issued by the hearing officer revoking and preventing renewal of this business license was the result of careful consideration of all the testimony and evidence. I submit to you that the finding and the penalty imposed are not against the manifest weight of the evidence, and the order should be upheld. Thank you.
Thank you. And it looks like the owner who was representing Cannabis has left, so there'll be no opportunity to rebut your comments. And for that, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Any public comment?
Oh, any public comment? I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Compass. Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye. Go into executive session.
Trustee Malani.
Here.
Trustee Compass.
Did we get trustee Compass on? I don't, but that's, we're doing everyone here first, so we got to get Sean here. Pardon the delay, we got to get trustee Compass on the line.
Trustee Compass. Here. Trustee Reardon.
Here.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Here.
No. Mayor Peacock.
Here.
Need a motion for the hearing.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
I'd like to reopen the hearing.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Compass. Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Here. So at the end of the day, listening to what transpired today and listening to the, and reading the transcript as well, essentially, the business was operating without a license for over a year. In and of itself, that would warrant closure. It was also advertising THC products, which were ordered and picked up in the store and sold in the store, have THC, which is also against village's laws, and quite likely also was violating state laws as well. That's not what we're discussing or what the hearing officer discussed. Our goal here is to weigh the manifest weight of the evidence to determine if the hearing officer, Village Manager Kazwara, made a reasonable decision. The board's decision was that it did, and I will entertain a motion to uphold the hearing officer's decision.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass. Mayor Pico.
Aye. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Trustee Compass?
Trustee Radiszewski.
I abstain.
Mayor Pico.
Call the, aye.
We are adjourned.
We're adjourned. Now we're getting ready to call the roll on the next.